You know, everybody, I have to give the WWE credit for keeping the WWE Championship on someone like CM Punk for over a year. Well, for a year now. I mean, the last time they kept the championship on somebody, that was John Cena, and that was basically from about 2005, if you will, to 2006, to the beginning of 2006, that is. So yeah, keeping the belt on Punk for about at least as long as they've kept the title around Cena in his first two reigns. I'll give him that credit. So at least that's pretty good. That's pretty, like I said, that's pretty good company when you think about it. I mean, John Cena held the belt from WrestleMania 21, I believe. Yeah, he won it at WrestleMania 21, lost it at New Year's Revolution. Won it back 2 weeks later at the Rumble. Kept it up until, I think, what was it? One Night Stand. Lost it. Regained it at I think Unforgiven. And then after that, held on to it, I guess, I'm trying to predict, for at least most of 2007, if not less than that. Well, for majority of 2007, that was his longest reign. We know that. So, one of them, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know. I have to look back at the DVDs I have. But, again, I have to give him credit, though. The only difference between Punk and Cena is Punk never dropped the title since he won it for the second time. So they have to have some kind of faith or belief in Punk that he's going to be a champion they could depend on. And also a champion that rarely gets injured. So I give him that credit for doing this, for having the balls to let Punk keep the championship, although they've had numerous opportunities, like last night at Survivor Series, at Night of Champions, Hell in a Cell, SummerSlam, to get the belt off him. They've kept it on him for a while, and there's a reason. And the reason is very simple, and I think we all know the answer, and that is to get CM Punk versus The Rock for the first time ever. You want the best in the world against the people's champion. Somebody that can basically match Punk hold for hold almost in wrestling. Now, this is the way I see this whole situation panning out, though, with CM Punk in his current reign as champion. I have no doubt that CM Punk's going to hold on to the belt to the Rumble. Now, if they decide to have him go over The Rock, I'll be totally surprised. But I don't think that's going to happen. You don't bring Rock back, give him a title shot, and say, you know what, we're going to have you job to CM Punk. No. The plan is obvious that they're going to give the belt to The Rock at the Rumble. Now, here's why. One, of course, if you're not a Rock fan, you're probably going to say it's because they want to feed his ego. That might be true. But another reason is because if The Rock is the people's champion, then basically he's saying, hey, let the people decide who the best is. And if the people feel The Rock is the best, then what better way to prove it than to have CM Punk job to The Rock at the Royal Rumble? I mean, it would make sense. That way Rock, from a historic standpoint, could say, hey, I did something that Punk couldn't do to Cena, or that Cena couldn't do to Punk, and vice versa. Basically, that would give another notch on Rock's belt. But basically, Rock could say, hey, I did something that Cena couldn't do. I beat CM Punk for the title. I did something that nobody on this active roster that day in and day out does what they have to do, in this ring. I did something they couldn't do. I took the belt off CM Punk. Now, you might say, you might say to yourself, well, if that's the case, that means they're obviously planning for a Rock Cena 2 match. That might be the case. But then again, we may not know if that's the case. Things may change in between here and now. I mean, recently, about a week or two ago, they were talking about CM Punk being in the final match. Being in the final match of WrestleMania. Being in the last match, the closing match. Which, honestly, I think from a business standpoint, he's earned. He's earned that opportunity. But this is what I see is going to happen. This is why I feel they're going to have Punk hold on until at least Rumble and maybe drop it to The Rock. It's because they're going to basically have Punk after that, in my honest opinion, from what I could see. They're going to have Punk basically go on maybe a year-long, 6-month, year-long skid with not a losing skid, not a losing streak, but a 6 months to maybe year-long, maybe if not a little bit more than that, skid without being WWE champion or even world champion. You see, what I think is going to happen is they're going to give the belt back to CM Punk after he drops it to The Rock or however they plan for him to drop it. They're going to give the belt back to him, but they're going to do it after a certain length of not being without the championship, and they're going to do it after, again, he turns back into a baby face. Get it? You basically have him lose the belt as a heel, and then down the line, 6 months to a year after or so, you have him regain it as a baby face. And then you basically make him realize, hey, maybe I was wrong in trying to prove I was better than everybody else. Maybe I was wrong in trying to say I was the best in the world when it comes to WWE when I'm not. So, I mean, it's just my opinion why I think they're going with this with CM Punk. I mean, you don't just, again, give somebody almost a year-long, if not over a year-long title reign and for nothing. You don't give that to him for nothing unless you believe you can depend on him, and two, you know he'll be willing to do whatever is best for the company, even if it means dropping it to a guy that's rarely there and probably waiting his turn to regain it down the line as a babyface once again. I think that's where they're going with this, in my honest opinion. Now, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, hey, I'll admit it. I'll be wrong. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I think what the WWE is doing, obviously from a long-term standpoint, is they want to basically get, CM Punk, back to being a babyface. That's what I think they want to do. They want to get him back to being a babyface, and either they'll get him back to a babyface before around, and I think it's going to be around next year. I think it's going to be after Mania. They're going to get him back to being a babyface. Because there's one matchup I'm pretty sure WWE would be considering for, let's say, Mania or afterwards, that would probably between and around Mania and afterwards would get Punk to go back to a babyface, which would help him from a storyline and character standpoint, build back up that build himself back up to redeeming himself and proving that, hey, I was wrong in what I said, I was wrong in the way I acted, I deserve a second chance. I feel that's going to be the long-term goal. And again, the one match I think that could cause this to happen, because we don't know exactly who he's going to face at Mania or afterwards, or if he's going to be around, but it sounds like he will be. I think the WWE wants to go with eventually, before he does finally say enough is enough, I'm done, I think eventually WWE wants to go with a Lesnar Punk match. I'm not lying about that. I think that's what they want to do. They got several other matches, in store for Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. So what better way for CM Punk to eventually make that turn back to babyface if they go in that direction, and it looks like they may, after this is all said and done, than to have him eventually drop the title to The Rock and maybe be in a featured match at Mania or at the next pay-per-view or whatever down the line in a slow turn back to babyface against Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying, that's my honest opinion. I'm just saying that's how I I'm thinking they may go. Because again, why give CM Punk this long-ass reign as champion if you didn't have some long-term plans for him after he drops it? Because eventually you're going to have to give it back to him down the line. But what better way for you to have him do that than to basically come full circle starting around next year and starting around within the time frame and after WrestleMania. And what better way for that to kind of start up than to have him kind of get into a program with Brock Lesnar? And I think that's what's going to happen. And I think the reason that's going to happen is WWE is going to try their best to keep Brock under a part-time contract because they're going to want Brock to get in the ring with guys like Punk, Sheamus, some of the up-and-comers there as well. Like, say, a Ryback maybe. So they're going to want those matchups to happen. They just need to keep Lesnar under contract or under a part-time contract that he'll enjoy, that he'll be good with. But again, I think that's eventually what, in my honest opinion, the way I see it, WWE is going right now with this whole CM Punk over a year-long title reign. So, but again, I give him credit, and the 49ers just blew out the Bears 32-7. Sorry, OTRS. But anyway, like I said, I just feel that's the direction they may go in. I just feel that's the direction they go in. They're going to go in my honest opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But again, as I was trying to say before I got distracted there, I want to give credit to WWE for doing what they've done with CM Punk, for keeping him as champion as long as they have. You rarely see this happen. And so I give him thumbs up on that. And it's been an interesting title reign. I'll say that. It's one of the rare title reigns out there where you've had the champion we've had the person who's become champion as a babyface, but during his title run become a heel. It's very rare that you see that every now and then, especially in the WWE. So that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below. Video response if you like as well, and I'll talk to you all later.